Oh, it's so hot. I wish I could just disappear into some like long lost city that's surrounded by water and just breathe. Oh, what's this? Atlantis? Huh. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Beth, and like I said, I've got Shadows of Atlantis Awakening to review for you guys today. I'm sorry this wasn't as dramatic as the Fever City review opener, but quite frankly, I didn't have any clothes that felt like they belonged in this book, so there you have it. One of the main characters, Brigitte, is of the Dream Clan, and she also has come to marry the king, and she is like a big force to be reckoned with, or she's going to be. Um, she is one of the seers that have come to help save Atlantis, and she is also described as being so beautiful and enchanting that she mesmerizes those around her. So I just kind of figured she looks like me. We'll make it work. Anyway, along with Brigitte is her brother Lucius. That is spelled Lukias. I'm not making it up. Lucius, who is the head seer of their clan. Unfortunately, Brigitte and Lucius seem to be the only members of their clan left. Their clan was ravaged by. Hey, my light came on. Their clan was ravaged by some sort of shadow cloud right after they got on the boat to bring them to Posidia, which is Atlantis, the main city of Atlantis. And with them, we also have Divinide, who is a musician, grew up with the king and his big brother. And then we also have Kyleron, the king of Atlantis, and the man who is meant to be Brigitte's mate. And then we have Evil Shadows. We have the other brother who doesn't play a huge part in this book, but who I believe will play a major part in following books. Um, we have lots of mentions of priests and priestesses for Atlantis, of Dreamtime, which are the basically layers of conscious and subconscious. And so there are a lot of little demi characters going through, but our main characters are basically Kyleron, the king of Atlantis, the evil shadows who are kind of pushing in around Atlantis, Brigitte, Lucius, and Divinid. Divinid is spelled D apostrophe Vinid. Just so you know, it's not Davidid or something, it's Divinid. My thoughts on this book are kind of all over the place, and it's not that I don't know what I think, it's that the book itself was all over the place. So at the beginning of the book, the writing was very scattered and repetitive. I was getting a lot of the same words and the same sequences, just kind of moved around a little bit and redone for the next scene. Um, Not too badly so that it made me want to completely close the book, but it felt like the beginning was the weak link for this book. So the first 100 pages or so are repetitive, and the entire book has just amazing, massive amounts of description to the point where a lot of the descriptions feel like things that should have been edited out because you don't need them. They are part of scenes that probably got edited out, and then we're left with a slip of description that's well done and interesting, but has nothing to do with the rest of the story. On top of the repetitive descriptions and scenes that she's just reworded and thrown in the next chapter, we also had a lot of repetitive words. For example, Lucius and Brigitte have a telepathic connection, and in one paragraph, it was telling us something that they were discussing back and forth to each other telepathically, and it used the word telepathically like 3 or 4 times in one 5 sentence paragraph. And the one time it did not use the word telepathically, it said with her mental speaking. So it felt really weak to me. It felt like a cop out to me. Wordplay is one of my favorite jams. And so to have someone who has written a book about a topic that they love and has, from their own account, been researching and working on for a really long time, and then to have them have such weak wordplay, it really bothered me. But I continued on. There is a hardcore insta love that the book even refers to as insta love. It has to deal with Brigitte and a couple of the other characters. And so they're going to the joining ceremony between her and King Kylion, or Kyleron. And she even thinks to herself, this guy, he's a sun kissed beauty. He's the king. I really wish I could love him with the instant attraction and love that I felt for the other character in the love triangle. And for his part, Kyleron is kind of not the best guy in the world and basically seems to only want her as a possession because she is so beautiful that she brings everybody else into her spell. She mesmerizes them and can make them do pretty much anything she wants. And so he is hoping to use her to make all of his subjects love him because his older brother should have been the rightful king, and something happened and he sent his older brother away and he became king. And he's trying to keep people from talking about the one true king and how this king should be there and Kyleron shouldn't be the king. And so he marries Brigitte, and she's so beautiful. He's hoping to use her to that end. And she just misses the other person in that love triangle, basically. There are a lot of twists and turns along the way. About halfway through the book, the writing felt like it cleaned up. The storyline itself is pretty solid. There are a couple of things that I felt like were major tropes, but all in all, I give it a 3 out of 5. I enjoyed the storyline, and I didn't even mind the insta love quite as much as you might think. However, this was the beginning of at least a duology, possibly a complete series. I'm not entirely certain. I thought it was a standalone book when I started it, but the way the ending was left, I'm really sure that this is the first of a series. And hopefully, the following books will kind of bring it all together and be a more solidified writing style. The first book is always one of the harder things to do, so I applaud Mara Powers for uh, writing this book and getting it out there. And I am actually kind of looking forward to finding out what happens eventually at some point in the next book. If you like Atlantis and you don't mind slogging through some of those beginning issues, I think that you would probably love this book. Like I said, I gave it a 3 out of 5. That's all I've got for you today on The Shadows of Atlantis Awakening by Mara Powers. Again, if you enjoy the Atlantis myth and want to see a different take on it and don't mind some kind of beginning writer issues, then please go ahead and check this out. Support an indie author and enjoy yourself. I will see you guys again soon. Bye.